Seniors, listen closely, because this may shock you. If your knees ache, if arthritis makes every step harder than the last, the real problem may not just be age, it could be sitting right on your dinner plate. Is this your morning? That first step out of bed sends a shock of pain from your feet, up your legs. The simple act of opening a jar feels like a monumental struggle, and playing with your grandkids on the floor is a painful memory. For millions over 60, this is the daily reality of arthritis. That's right. 3 everyday foods that most people over 60 eat regularly are quietly fueling joint pain. They're making inflammation worse, breaking down cartilage, and keeping you trapped in the arthritis cycle. The scary part? These foods often look harmless, even healthy, yet they could be the reason your knees feel stiffer every morning. Think about it. Every single bite you take can either feed inflammation or fight it. And most seniors are unknowingly eating the very things that make arthritis flare up. Imagine cutting just a few foods from your diet and suddenly waking up with lighter knees, easier steps, and less stiffness. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 3 foods you must avoid if you want true arthritis relief after 60. And I'll also show you what to eat instead. Simple, natural options that calm inflammation, protect your joints, and keep you moving pain-free for years to come. So, stay with me until the end, because you may be surprised at what's been hiding in your kitchen this whole time. Food number 1, the hidden inflammatory agent. Processed and added sugars. All right, let's get right into it. The first, and maybe the most destructive food group to watch out for, is processed and added sugars. I know that sounds obvious, but it's a lot trickier than you think. This isn't just about the spoonful of sugar in your coffee. We're talking about the hidden sugars lurking in tons of foods you probably eat every single day. Think about it. That morning fruit juice, your low-fat yogurt, the whole wheat bread, and even that savory salad dressing can be absolutely packed with added sugars. Food companies are masters of disguise, hiding sugar under names like fructose, sucrose, corn syrup, and maltose. These processed sugars trigger the release of inflammatory messengers in your body called cytokines. For someone with arthritis, your body is already dealing with chronic inflammation. When you eat all this extra sugar, it's like pouring gasoline on a fire. Research has directly linked high sugar intake to higher levels of inflammatory markers in the blood. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed that processed sugars are a key trigger for these inflammatory cytokines. This whole process leads to more pain, more swelling, and more stiffness in your joints. On top of that, a high-sugar diet is a fast track to weight gain. Every extra pound you carry puts 4 extra pounds of pressure on your knees. Imagine carrying a 10-pound bag of groceries. That's 40 extra pounds of force slamming down on your knee joints with every single step. By making you gain weight, sugar creates a vicious cycle of more joint stress and more inflammation. But here's the sneakiest part. Sugar leads to these harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short, and that name is no joke. These compounds literally age your body's tissues. When sugar attaches to proteins and fats in your bloodstream, it forms these destructive AGEs that damage cells and cause even more inflammation, especially in your joints. Research shows that AGEs build up in the cartilage of people with osteoarthritis, making joints stiffer and contributing to the breakdown of that precious tissue. So, what's the fix? It's all about choosing whole, natural foods and becoming a bit of a detective when you read food labels. Instead of a glass of orange juice, which is basically sugar water with the fiber stripped out, eat a whole orange. The fiber slows down sugar, absorption, and gives you a ton of nutrients. Berries are a fantastic choice. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. They're low in sugar and packed with powerful antioxidants called anthocyanins, which have a proven anti-inflammatory effect. Swap out sugary breakfast cereals and flavored yogurts for plain oatmeal or unsweetened Greek yogurt. You can add your own flavor with fresh berries, a sprinkle of cinnamon, or a handful of nuts. And instead of reaching for a soda or sweetened iced tea, try sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon or a calming cup of green tea. Green tea has antioxidants that can help knock down inflammation and may even slow down cartilage breakdown. By cutting out these hidden sugars, you're not just dodging a major inflammation trigger. You're actively calming the fire inside your joints, easing pain, and protecting your cartilage from more damage. Food number 2. The wrong fats. Saturated and trans. Fats coming in at number 2 are the fats that can completely sabotage your joint health. Saturated and trans fats. Now, fat itself isn't the enemy. In fact, your body needs healthy fats, but the type of fat you eat makes all the difference between fueling inflammation and fighting it. Let's start with saturated fats. You find these mainly in red meat, full-fat dairy like cheese and butter, processed meats like bacon and sausage, and a ton of fast foods and baked goods. Studies show that saturated fats can trigger inflammation in your fat tissue. And that's terrible news for arthritis sufferers because that inflammation doesn't just stay put. It spreads throughout your body and makes your joint inflammation even worse. Think of it this way. When you eat a lot of saturated fat, your body cranks out more pro-inflammatory chemicals, dialing up the pain and swelling you already feel. And guess what the 2 biggest sources of saturated fats are in the average American diet? Pizza and cheese. Then we have the absolute worst of the worst, trans fats. These are artificial fats made to extend the shelf life of foods. You'll find them in fried foods, stick margarine, store-bought cookies, crackers, you name it. Trans fats are famous for triggering system-wide inflammation. They're so bad that many health authorities have pushed to have them removed from our food supply entirely. When you eat trans fats, you are literally consuming an ingredient that promotes inflammation. And just like sugar, cooking with high-fat methods, especially frying, creates more of those damaging advanced glycation end products, AGEs. Foods like French fries, fried chicken, and donuts are a double whammy. They're high in unhealthy fats and loaded with AGEs, creating a perfect storm for joint pain. So, what's the empowering swap? It's all about trading those bad fats for good, anti-inflammatory ones. The superstar here is omega-3 fatty acids. Think of omega-3s as your body's personal fire department. They work by lowering the production of inflammatory chemicals and can seriously ease joint pain and stiffness. Multiple studies have shown that people with arthritis who up their omega-3 intake have less joint pain and morning stiffness. The best sources are fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, herring, and sardines. Try to get a serving of these fish at least twice a week. If you're not a fish person, you can get plant-based omega-3s from flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. Your second big swap is to replace butter and margarine with healthy oils. Extra virgin olive oil is a fantastic choice. It contains a compound called oleocanthal, which has anti-inflammatory properties so powerful they've been compared to ibuprofen. Use it for light cooking or as a base for salad dressings. Avocados and avocado oil are other great sources of healthy fat. Instead of snacking on chips, grab a handful of almonds or walnuts by making these simple swaps: salmon instead of steak, olive oil instead of butter, nuts instead of cookies, You're changing the fundamental signals you send to your body. You're shifting from a pro-inflammatory diet to an anti-inflammatory one, giving your joints the support they need to feel and function better. Food number 3. The problem with red and processed meats, and our third and final food group to be mindful of, is red and processed meats. I know, for a lot of people, a meal isn't a meal without beef or bacon. But frequent consumption could be a major reason for your arthritis pain. Here's why. Red and processed meats are high in those saturated fats we just talked about, which are known inflammation boosters. Some studies have linked a high intake of red meat to higher levels of inflammatory markers in the blood, like C-reactive protein, P. When those markers are high, it's a clear sign your body is inflamed, which translates directly to more pain and swelling in your joints. On top of that, certain processed meats like hot dogs and deli meats are high in compounds called purines, which can trigger gout, a very painful type of arthritis. When your body breaks down purines, it produces uric acid. For some people, that excess uric acid can form sharp crystals in the joints, leading to agonizing gout attacks. But it's not just the fat or the purines. How we cook the meat is a huge factor. Cooking meats at high temperatures, like grilling, broiling, or frying, creates a ton of those inflammatory advanced glycation. End products, ages. A grilled steak or crispy bacon might taste amazing, but they are loaded with these compounds that build up in your body and fire up inflammation. One study found that red meat commonly made symptoms worse for people with rheumatoid arthritis. While not everyone reacts the same way, it's definitely a food group to look at closely if you're dealing with daily joint pain. So, what's the life-changing swap? You don't have to go completely vegetarian, but shifting your protein sources can make a massive difference. The best swap is that oily fish we keep talking about, salmon, mackerel, which are full of anti-inflammatory omega-3s. Swapping a steak for baked salmon a few times a week is one of the most powerful moves you can make for your joints. Another fantastic option is to start exploring more plant-based proteins. Beans and legumes, like black beans, chickpeas, and lentils, are excellent. They are high in fiber, which helps lower inflammatory markers. Plus, they're packed with antioxidants that fight inflammation. Try bringing Meatless Monday into your routine with a hearty lentil soup or a black bean burger. If you still want to enjoy meat, think about switching to poultry like chicken or turkey. And just be mindful of how you cook it. Instead of high-heat grilling, try gentler methods like baking, poaching, or slow cooking, which produce far fewer ages. Finally, crowd your plate with anti-inflammatory vegetables. Cruciferous veggies like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts are amazing for joint health. Broccoli, especially, contains a compound called sulforaphane, which research suggests may help slow cartilage damage in osteoarthritis. And don't forget flavor-packed powerhouses, like garlic, onions, ginger, and turmeric, all celebrated for their potent anti-inflammatory effects. Making these changes isn't about deprivation, it's about empowerment. It's about choosing foods that heal your body instead of foods that cause pain. Every single meal is a new chance to reduce inflammation and take back your life. I'm curious to hear from you. Which of these 3 food groups surprised you the most? And what's one simple swap you're willing to try this week? Let me know down in the comments. Your journey could be the inspiration someone else in our community needs to see today. So, seniors, let's bring it all together. Arthritis doesn't just come from age. It's fueled by what you put on your plate. And the truth is, these 3 foods, processed and added sugars hiding in everyday foods, inflammatory saturated and trans fats found in processed and fried items, and red and processed meats that can fuel the fire. Remember, what you eat is one of the most powerful tools you have in your fight against arthritis pain. By swapping these inflammatory foods for whole, nutrient-dense options like oily fish, colorful fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats, you can build a diet that actively works to reduce your pain and improve your mobility. It's not about being perfect overnight. It's about making small, consistent choices that add up to huge results. You have the power to either fuel the pain or promote healing with what you put on your plate. If this video helped you, share it with another senior who deserves relief from arthritis pain. And don't forget to subscribe, because every week we bring you natural remedies, senior health tips, and simple ways to stay active, strong, and pain-free after 60. Remember, every healthy choice is a step toward the life you deserve. Thanks for watching.